God bless everybody on this wonderful Monday morning. Welcome to Just Talk with ELS. I wanted to briefly bring a subject to your mind on this Monday morning. It's time to get God involved. Over the years, over 20 years now of evangelistic ministries, I've been given the opportunity to talk to hundreds and hundreds, almost thousands of people. And one of the things I found out in talking to people, especially people with great potential in life, is a lot of times, they just missing God being involved in their lives. They have so much great potential, so educated or so talented, but they don't put God as a priority in their life. It's not that they're bad people. Some of them are great people. A lot of them are with the right intentions, but they just don't see God as a priority in their life. So I want to talk about that for a quick second on Just Talk. From the subject, it's time to get God involved. I want to reference a scripture over in Genesis chapter 11, verse 4 through 8, which is a story about the Tower of Babel from the beginning. When God was dealing with his people, the people actually had great potential that God had put in them, but they didn't want God involved in the process. And a lot of us today going through the same things and can't quite get to the level in life that we want to reach because we don't get God involved. So let me read Genesis chapter 11, verse 4. I'm going to start at verse 4 and I'm going to read to verse 8. And it reads, "And they said, Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, Indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them." And this is God speaking. Then God says in verse 7, he said, Come, let us go down, and there, come, let us go down. Yeah, come, let us go down there, confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. And the last verse says, So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of the earth, and they ceased building the city. Today on Straight Talk, I want to let you know it's time to get God involved. Trying to build a life without God involved will confuse your life. Let me say that again. Trying to build a life without God involved will confuse your life. Potential only turns to purpose when God is leading it. So a lot of times you have to realize that God is that missing piece. And you're trying to build a life without God involved. And a lot of times confusion, almost all the time, confusion comes into your life. The potential that you have, the seed of purpose that God put in you, can only be manifested with God leading it. And so the first thing we need to do is we need to come out of self-centered thinking and start depending on God. It is so easy to get into self-centered thinking because it is God himself who gave us these great abilities that we have. But the clutches of pride and arrogance may roll up on us very quickly. And we forget who gave it to us. And we begin to take a mindset that we have did this thing on our own. And so I want to tell you today, God is the part needed for completion. God is the part needed for completion. And don't never forget that as you roll through life trying to be successful. Don't get caught up in self-centered thinking. Don't try to build without God involved. And remember that purpose only turns to purpose when God is leading it. He is the missing part needed for completion. God bless you and thank you for tuning in to Just Talk with ELS. That has been what I say, food for thought. And please make it personal. Take care.